Can your child read? What age are your children when they learned how to read? This is a hard question to ask, but right now in the United States, there is a literacy crisis. The people that know how to read are fortunate, and the people that cannot read have been moved to the side, and that ought not to be. Teachers these days are saying they don't want to teach because these kids can't read. And these are 9th grade teachers, high school teachers. Reading is the fundamental skill. And if the schools are failing to teach reading, this lack of skill will only compound. Hi, my name is Martha, and I'm here to help solve the literacy crisis one reader at a time. I believe that God designed us to be readers. He wrote us a whole book, 66 books, a whole library in the Bible. He designed us to be readers. He wants us to be readers so that we can be creative and fulfill our mission on earth. And as a reader, you can have access to the greatest knowledge that's been written in the world. As you are focusing on the beauty of learning how to read, the hopelessness doesn't need to be part of the equation. There's enough blame to throw around in this world, but I want to give you hope that there's one thing you need to focus on so that your child can learn how to read. So the one skill that you need to learn how to read is to learn how to sound out the words. What do I mean by sounding out the words? That means you need to be able to look at the word, know what the letter says, and say the sound the letters make, and blend the words together and go on to the next word and finish the sentence, reading a complete thought, then finish the paragraph, getting the main idea, and finishing the story, understanding the plot, the characters, the setting, and the events of the story. That's reading. Reading is so important that it begins with the skill of sounding out the words. And that is not taught in schools today. Let me show you the two different approaches to teaching reading. And every curriculum uses some form of this. The phonics-based method is a part to whole. You learn the parts of the word and sounding them out, and then you read the whole word. And then there's the whole language approach, where you learn to read word by word. Let me explain how phonics works. Now, phonics starts with explicitly teaching how English works by pinpointing the multiletter phonograms, the single letter phonograms that are used to spell the words. And the multiletter phonograms are listed here. The W. Don't forget the silent E rule. The I, 3-letter I. A-Y says A. Ooh, v. Now, I said the sounds of these phonograms. Can you read the words? Now, this is what sounding out means. B, E, G, O. B, N, bin, G, O. Go, bingo. And teaching the student that if there's a capital letter, that means it's a name. Bingo. W, ite. Br, b, r, ite. Bright. N, O's. Nose. T, ale. Tail. D, a. Day. L, ook. Ng. Now, I purposely read that word wrong, looking, because most curriculums focus on the oo sound. but there are 4 sounds that the 2-letter O can say. Oo, o, and it's saying the sound in looking. So just from the beginning, a, play, with, I can sound out all but one word accurately just with the knowledge I've been told. But why do we say the sound in looking? If a child has learned like in zoo, and they focus only on that sound, they will read looking wrong. They will say looking. And then they can go around and from their background figure out, oh, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, and they'll be able to figure out what looking means. But do you see how they need to come away from the knowledge they know to figure out something that wasn't taught? So phonics, by and large, is a much more promising way to teach reading, but it does not teach all the knowledge needed to read. And when you teach only part of the knowledge, some students are going to fall by the wayside because they will be confused why what you've taught them doesn't really work. And so this is where a lot of people say phonics doesn't work because you cannot sound out every word 100% of the time. Look at the word z. That looks like as, was. And how in the world do you pronounce eyes? And ani? How do you spell twu? Something, very. These words must be taught as sight words. And so conscientiously, sight words have been developed, and the child is taught to read the sight words, write the sight words, take the spelling test, and memorize them. Memorize them cold turkey. O-N-E spells one, one. T-W-O spells two, two. And these sight words get drilled into the head. But now that we know the sight word method or the phonics method, let's read the beginning reader. What a good story. B-eng-o, bingo. Now, I sounded out bingo. Am I supposed to know was? Do you see right away? Do you sound out every word? And if you don't sound out every word, which word am I supposed to know without sounding it out? And I know all these words from the flashcards, but I've never seen bingo before. Small, small. What does it say? Do you see how the confusion can go? Now, obviously, teachers follow along. The student has not pronounced the word correctly. That's the word small. And then you go on. Black and white puppy? No, puppy. Now let's go on. And the student is taught to read, corrected when they do not read the words correctly, and go on. And it's a beginning reader, so you're supposed to read it over and over again. And by the 3rd, 4th, or 5th time, a child can fluently read it in 1 to 2 minutes time, whatever the goal is. And this is the framework that is being taught. Beginning readers have a certain amount of knowledge. But how do you graduate in sight words to Harry Potter? How many sight words do you need to know to be able to read Harry Potter? How about crime and punishment? How many sight words do you need to know to read crime and punishment? Now, to begin with, if you are not worried about phonics or sight words, but you worry about sounding it out, your student can learn how to read by sounding out the words. Let me give you an example of the sight words. If you look at was, why is was pronounced the way it is? Teach them that the letter A has 4 sounds. It is a vowel. All vowels say 2 or 4 sounds. The letter A has 4 sounds. A, A, A. A is the 4th sound, and that is the sound in the word was. Z. So if you're teaching them, and you can teach them the knowledge like this, remember the A says That's the fourth sound. But when you're sounding it out, say sound it out, And if they say the wrong sound, just remind them A says z. Now you read it. You have them read it. And if they can't, you say z, was. You model that sounding it out so that they can learn how to read. Now, I want you to practice reading the most precious words of God from the Bible to show you how you can read. A lot of people have said that you need a beginning reader book. Well, I want to show you how the Bible can be the beginning reader book. Just look at this one verse, and if you're learning how to read, I want you just to focus on analyzing this word, this verse, so that you can sound it out. Matthew. Notice there's two T's, but the TH says Matthew. Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Ask, and it, shall, be, given, you, seek, and ye, shall, find, knock, and it shall be opened unto you. And that is a verse from the Bible. So read that verse over and over again. And then while you're reading, think about it. It's pretty neat when you read the Bible. It's made for all readers. And it's relevant to any reader because you can see there's 3 verbs. What are the 3 verbs? Ask, seek, and knock. And you can see the parallel construction. If you ask for something, it will be given to you. If you seek for something, you shall find it. If you knock on the door to opportunity, it shall be opened unto you. Isn't that special how this parallel construction can be used in comprehension as well? So remember, sounding out the words can be done when you're reading any word. And the English language is predictable. So thank you for joining me today. Join me tomorrow as I continue to teach you how to sound out every word that you come across in the English language. Have a nice day, and remember, for the children's sake, let's learn how to teach reading and encourage all readers that we know. Bye for now.